It'll make a little bit of sense in a few short seconds here. So I'm going to get rid of my magic wand. I'm going to use my knife tool today. So notice that it's usually hiding underneath the eraser. And I will zoom in. Alright, so for the knife tool, just in case this is one of your first tutorials or the first time using with it, notice I selected it first. And I'm going to start way on the outside. The one trick with the knife tool is it wants to go all the way through the shape. And where people mess up is you don't go all the way through, so it doesn't actually cut. So next, I have cut all the way through it. Let's just show you the process. I'm going to deselect. I'm going to come back over, and then I'm going to delete, and then that's going to shine back through to my highlight layer. So I'm just going to color it a little bit darker. So I have my shadow layer, and it's just anytime I hit delete, it's going to shine back through to this flat color highlight. Let's do it again. And the more we do it, it'll make a little bit more sense. Now I did just color this layer so you guys can see it a little bit nicer. Come right through there. This might not be a great one to start on since this is going to be a pretty subtle change. Go back to the knife tool. So I want a little bit of a highlight on the back of the head. So notice I'm going nice and slow. It's going to try and smooth out as best as it can. Then I'm just going to click on delete. And again, here's my layer I'm working on, and it's just shining through to that highlight layer. Alright, let's do our shadows. So now I'm going to actually color it. So instead of actually hacking it out and deleting it, we're going to just recolor it. So I'm going to go right into just little swoops. I'm going to start over here, and if you want to go a little bit long, and I can add on, and we'll clean all that up. So I'm going to come into this, I want my shadow areas, good, and now instead of deleting, I'm going to just color them a little bit darker. Now I have all these weird little strays, so I'm going to come over to Pathfinder, and I'm just going to unite those. I'm going to grab this one, so notice we have those little strays. I'm just going to unite them. If you can't find Pathfinder, it is underneath your window, so anytime you can't find something, just understand it's going to be under window. Alright, good. Hair is done. So what we want to do is let's just grab our magic wand. I want all of the skin, and we're going to have some fun with this. So I want a big cast shadow under that hair piece. It's going to drop down. Since I want it to still be sharp, I'm just going to do multiples here. This one's going to drop on down. I'm going to go into that shoulder. And right now all of this ear will actually get dark, so what I want to do is give it a stopping point. So this will look like a highlight. That looks good. Let's do one underneath the face here while we still have everything selected. I'm going to go right into that shoulder. And let's do one for the ear. Let's do these hands. So I want these sleeves to cast a shadow. I think the top will have a little bit of a highlight. So let's come back to your knife. And I think a little thumb will cast a shadow. Let's do this hand. I am going to do a highlight on the top of the thumb. And then there's going to be a bunch of highlight or shadows under these fingers. And I actually think I'll take shadow going all the way through. Alright, we just had a whole lot of fun. I think that'll all stay dark down there. Let's make sense of it. So let's do our shadows first. I'm just holding down Shift and a little bit of troubleshooting as I'm just selecting. If you can't come back through and grab the individual shape, it's trying to grab multiple things or it's grabbing too large of an area, more than likely you just went a little bit short. So you can always just zoom in and it'll usually let you know pretty quick that you missed something. I'm just seeing if that's dark enough. I think I am okay with most of that. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come over and just unite. And that'll get rid of any of those strays. I'm going to grab this one since we had those little crisscrosses, and I'm going to unite. Now I can either color and or delete, so I'm actually going to just delete those. I'm just thinking of where I want the highlights to be. Good. I'm going to take this one and just go up one, and then I'm going to... So let's grab these eyeballs. And whenever we're doing this lighting, just kind of think of where light would hit. So I'm going to swoop in. I want kind of that lip to cast a little bit of a shadow. Just thinking of if I want anything in the teeth. Maybe I'll come up. So notice I can just keep adding onto it. Alright, that looks good. Notice I deselect. And just in case if you guys haven't made the same mistake, is if you don't deselect, everything will color, so it doesn't reset it. Good, I'm going to use my magic wand. I'm just going to unite those. And again, that just gets rid of those little strays. Those will show up a little bit if you don't have the background. So notice that we have our flat color underneath it. So just notice there's a method behind everything. So notice we have this flat color layer. That'll usually hide all of those little strays. But if you got rid of it, then sometimes those do actually show up. Sleeve. I want that face to cast a shadow. Maybe it'll go right into that bag. Let's just do all of them while we have them. If you want to do them all at the same time, you can. I think we can go right there. And I am going to unite those while I have them. Let's grab this sleeve. I think it's going to cast a shadow, so I'm going to try and make sure that connects into the armpit. I actually think there's going to be a highlight. There's going to be a highlight coming through the shoulder. Going down. I might add a little bit of a shadow or a highlight on this arm too. We are going to up this color, by the way. I'm going to come through the top. I'm trying to end a little bit for that shadow. Alright, so I'm just grabbing the base, and I'm going to go up one with it. So I'm going to make that one a little bit darker. Let's go right there with it. And then usually on this layer, I do go a little bit darker, since we are going to be adding on our transparent gradients back on top. Usually a little bit more contrast actually reads a little bit nicer. I'm going to do a cast shadow for the shirt onto the pants. I'm going to grab these legs, and I just think there'll be a nice clean one kind of going through. I am okay with that. So let's grab this bag. And we're going to pop some things back into it. So I want a cast shadow under that thumb. I think this hand is going to cast a shadow, and then I want that crease to go up. Alright, that looks good. So that's all going to go up. I'm going to unify it. I don't have that swatch, so just bump it up a little bit. Alright, I'm going to go Control-0 and just see if I missed anything. I think that looks pretty good.